On September 11th, 2025, Beth Ann Hardison, activist, asked Yara Shahidi, activist, in a Forbes interview on how she felt about her world right now. Yara answered honestly by saying she is terrified and would like a plan to fix it. I empathize in that no one should live in fear. In my opinion, this sounds like a plea for help. I would like to help, but how? When Yara Shahidi was younger, she did an equality speech on October 19, 2018 at the Gleason Respect Awards. I argue the speech is a hypothesis to fix her world and reduce her fear. In April 2024, I published my book on Amazon based on this hypothesis, showing that prevention will lead to equity and that equity will lead to equality. This hypothesis will fix the political, economic, and social problems in her world and our world. This nonprofit, non-edited channel is a letter to Yara Shahidi and teaching Yara's hypothesis to the public in order to better our world. In the end, Yara Shahidi will get the Nobel Peace Prize for her hypothesis. Dear Yara Shahidi, still weird when I say that. Chapter 26, Environment. When it comes to the environment, I really get confused on the solutions needed to fix the environment. For example, there are solutions to the environment crises, but there are always delays in implementing them, like the solutions are not ready for the market because the technology is not ready, or the technology is too expensive for the average person to buy it, or it is an infrastructure problem that the government hasn't implemented yet. There are so many problems with the environment, from plastics in the ocean to climate change, that I really do not know where to begin or how to solve it. This is the confusion on my part. I really need help on this subject. And what I do know is that there are people out in the world wanting to open businesses to help the environment. What can be done today are microloans for people to open up their environmentally friendly businesses like solar and wind farms to create electricity to compete against the fossil fuel industry at the local level. The solution can help now with the environment. Another solution to the environment is a transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy or green energy. In the near future, there's going to be energy mix between renewable energy and fossil fuels. The reason why it can't be done today is because there is no one renewable energy source that can deliver on the needs of power usage by Americans and the world like oil and coal can. Pound for pound, oil and coal or fossil fuels contain more energy than almost any other energy source. The good news is that solar and wind are being mass produced, and they are given tax credits by governments to be jump-started. In the near future, though, renewable sources have to be financially competitive against fossil fuels in order for them to take hold in the market. This is the energy mix between renewable energy and fossil fuels, as stated before. An example of this is cars. The biggest environmental polluters to the environment are cars. For renewables to be competitive in the car market, then this means 50% of cars have to use electricity as an energy source, while the other half use fossil fuels. As of today, only 2% of the market makes up electrical cars, while 98% are fossil-fueled cars. When 2040 comes along, then fusion becomes an option at that point. Fusion is the power of the sun. Humans will use the seawater to create unlimited amounts of energy due to thermonuclear reactions on the planet. Physicists believe that the technology problems have been dealt with. For example, California has the largest laser fusion facility on Earth at Livermore National Laboratories. In France, the International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor will be up and running in 2025. It will be the biggest human science experiment ever created at an estimate of $65 billion, with many countries participating in it. The long-term goal of fusion research is to generate electricity, and fusion is a clean source of energy that can save the environment from climate change. As I stated before, the U.S. and the world will be headed to a mixed energy market in the near future, and then to a fusion economy by 2040. How does the world and the U.S. look today? The U.S. and the world are headed toward a global energy crisis. For example, gasoline prices are up more than 50% for October 2021. It's been a while. And then from October 20th And natural gas in Europe has risen over 500% in September 2021 than from September 20th. Basically, right now, natural gas and gas prices are really sky high because of the Iran war. So this is, I know this is old information, but the new information is coincides with the old information, so it's kind of like parallel. So it's the same information, but different times. It's sad, but true. In Asia, importers of liquefied natural gas are paying record highs in record prices in order to lock in supply. In the United Kingdom, 2 plants shut down because of high energy costs, and it is feared that more industries will follow. The U.S. Energy Information Administration has said for winter 2021 that the average U.S. customer will spend more on fuel for heating because of higher expected fuel prices. Yeah, I mean, if fuel continues, and then if the war continues and the prices go up, then air conditioning prices will be higher, energy prices will be higher, food prices will be higher. Fun stuff. Why is this happening? There are three things happening. The first and the simplest explanation is that the demand for energy is exceeding supply. Also, the pandemic stopped industry in the global market, as an example. With the world being vaccinated against the virus, now the global market is switched on again, and supply is trying to keep up with demand. Everyone is going back to work at the same time, and this makes the energy prices go up. Like today, the Strait of Hormuz is being closed. That's 20% of the gas. That's 20% of the global market being closed. So that's why gas prices are going up. It's the same thing. The last reaction that seems to be common cause for these high prices is that much of the world hasn't stopped investing in fossil fuels. This means there is less of a supply of them, even though the United States is the most is the number one producer of gas, or gas, or oil for gas. It still keeps going higher, and everyone's dependent on everyone else. So fossil fuels are still there. Yes, fossil fuels produce the carbon that has made climate change. Yes, switching to green fuel or renewables is a good thing, but the U.S. and the world do not have enough green fuel or renewables to replace fossil fuels today. In the near future, the U.S. and the world will be able to have enough green fuel or renewables to reduce a mixed energy market of competing energy sources and then replace fossil fuels completely to save the planet, like in the year 2040 with fusion, but not today. I mean, the fusion from Japan and I think China and Europe are still setting records for fusion, but it's just, the technology is just not there because, I mean, you're using more energy to make the fusion to actually, you're using more energy to make fusion, but it's not able to, be sustainable to, sell to put on the market. The technology is not ready yet. The global energy consumption of 2019 was at 84.3% from fossil fuels like oil, coal, and natural gas. The 2019 global energy consumption for low carbon and other renewables was only 15.7%, with wind energy making up only 2% and solar energy about 1%. This is still the same thing today, 2026. These numbers are closely related. In other words, it would require a 2,500% increase in production and deployment of wind and solar to fully replace fossil fuels. This is not going to happen in the next 5 years or 10 years because this is a near future solution. What do we do now? In order to get to this near future, to save the planet and not make prices so outrageous for the average consumer to afford energy, then the U.S. and the world need a transition energy strategy. If there is no plan for a transition energy strategy, then there is a shock to the system in the form of bad weather or bad storage capacity. Then the US and the world will face an energy crisis more often. This means that prices will go sky high more often, and people will get mad and scared in choosing if they will pay for food or heat or air conditioning in their living condition that month. This is not fair for the average consumer of energy. Also, modern societies cannot run without steady access to energy. When the energy shocks are felt, then the governments will do whatever it takes to keep the electricity flowing. For example, Germany has over the decades built an extraordinary supply of green energy or renewables. Yes, Germany did good in saving the planet, but they are not safe from the... Yes, Germany did good in saving the planet, but they are not safe from an energy crisis. Like today. Like today. In 2021, they produced 56% of their electricity from fossil fuels like coal, gas, and nuclear. These sources of energy are the very energy sources that Germany was trying to get rid of. The other 44% of electricity made in Germany came from solar and wind. Yeah, even though the Germany is really doing well, like China's really pushing their renewables, the world is still dependent on fossil fuels because it's the energy source for fossil fuels is just so good. I mean, it sucks that it's destroying the planet, but it's still more technology, more infrastructure. As of today, there isn't really a transition energy strategy that the US and the world is following. The plan that they are following now is full of contradictions, especially for the US and Europe. I mean, look at the Paris Accords to help the planet, and then everyone signed up. Oh, we're gonna save the planet. Then all of a sudden, nope. Oh well. Oh, it's so funny. I mean, it's not funny. It's just sad that. Yeah, it's sad. I'll just leave it there. The plan that they are following now is full of contradictions, especially for the US and the world and Europe. For example, with the US taking on high gas prices, some countries are pleading with OPEC and Arab countries to increase their supply of oil to the US while discouraging its own oil and gas procedures in the US from increasing production. Some of the news of today were saying that they're trying to start gas drilling in the Gulf of Mexico, or the Alaskan pipeline starting over again. But, that's a start. And then Arab countries are trying to increase their oil production because the Straits of Hormuz is, still closed. But even that, we're still on... It's like the U.S. and the world are addicted to fossil fuels. We're a junkie. We're ruining the world, yet we can't get off of it. It's just, it's almost the exact same understanding from a junkie. They're like, dude, I know I'm on drugs, but it feels so good. I want to do it more. I don't want to change. Why? It feels good. It's almost like the same thing. It's so weird. Europeans are trying to will pump more natural gas their way to help solve their energy crisis. The Europeans are discouraging gas production in their countries as well. So I don't know. I wish I knew more about the environment. I do, but it's hard. There's just so much. I've heard that if we spent $10 trillion, we can lick the environmental crisis right now. But that's $10 trillion. No one has that. I think the U.S. Receives $4 trillion a year. So I mean, I don't see anybody saving up that to, I don't know, 10 trillion. That's just so much money. Is it sustainable? I don't know. Could it work? I don't know. I mean, several studies would have to say, push it to say if it would work or not. But I don't know. I've heard a lot of people say that. So I don't know if it's true or not. I'm pretty sure it is. But that's so much money. Jeez. A serious transition energy strategy would recognize that the most important task to reduce carbon emissions fast in the short term is to move from coal to natural gas. This is the simplest way, and it cuts carbon emissions almost in half. Most of the reduction in the U.S. carbon dioxide emissions from 2005 to 2019 was precisely that switch from coal to natural gas. Coal is the biggest producer of carbon dioxide. Another part of the strategy could work is fossil fuel power plants. Research shows that of the 29,500 fossil fuel power plants worldwide, that only the top 5% of polluters contributed to 73% of all the electricity-based carbon dioxide discharges. The U.S. and the world could easily pay these 1,400 power plants to convert their power plants with today's technology to reduce their carbon footprint and save the planet. The last strategy is methane. The International Energy Agency, or IEA, estimates that over 70% of the methane leakage from oil and gas production can be stopped by using existing technologies. See, the technology, some of the technology is actually there, but people don't want, like I said at the very beginning, people don't want to use them. People aren't ready to use them. They might feel like they're losing their competitive edge with other countries. I don't know. I think it's just a real fear to transition from fossil fuels to solar and wind. I mean, to really up the ante. I don't think the batteries are there yet either. I mean, I think if we had a great technology boost in batteries, I think it would transition the planet, because if the batteries were lighter and more faster than lithium, and then and more capable of not catching fire like lithium does, then people would transition from fossil fuels to electricity. Plus, we would have to build the infrastructure, and we don't even know if that would work. So it's just, there are just so many unknowns. I just wish there's just more studies you can actually read to say, oh yeah, if we built this, oh yeah. I mean, if we start in small towns, just one town, have them all, say 100 people, build in power grid for that small town, give all the people some money so they would take their fossil fuel cars and drive electrical cars with the best batteries we can muster, and see if it works. And if it works in that small town, say 100 people, then move to 200 people, move to 1,000 people, and then you can plan bigger and bigger and bigger until you can get to a heartburn. Then until you get to like Los Angeles type big cities, or New York type cities. And then you can do a state, and other states will go. It's just, it's practice. That's all it is. It's not that hard, but it's just get some grants, start. People want to help. It's just because if you start the practice, then you can then you can understand if it can work, it can't work, what we need here, and then you can put up money to say, we'll give you this much grant money if you can develop this. Well, scientists, universities, from around the world would love to, help the environment, because, they would get their names in published scientist magazines or studies, or, get name recognition. Then they can pull money to their university because, look at me. That's how you start. That's how you begin. I don't know. It's just, it seems easy, but, somebody has to organize it. Somebody has to initiate it. Somebody has to go to the science foundations and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. I want to save the planet. I want to start a small town. Okay, do you want to be a part of it? Okay. Then you get all the professionals and all the credited people together, get the best science, and then you start initiating it. Okay, and then you get the ethics people behind it, so people don't be taken advantage of. You record it. People, I know it's a lot of money, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort. It's our planet, so it's worth it. So I know I'm babbling. I gotta read. Other serious transition energy strategies for producing commercially viable Other serious transition energy strategies are producing commercially viable electric planes by replacing aviation fuel with batteries. The technology is not there yet, but is really close. The batteries are still heavy. I think the average plane can fly an hour. I think it's up to 3 hours now. But even that's pretty good. Just electricity, it's just so good. Well, there's one that's solar that went around the world. That was really cool. I think it went around the world 2 or 3 times. No. 2 or 3 attempts. It's just a big plane with a big wing, and it had solar panels on it. It was really cool. I think they've done it twice now. Okay, I'll stop babbling. I'll start reading more. The technology is not there yet, but it is really close. The other is hydrogen cars, and some people own. The other is hydrogen cars that some people own on the road. This is an infrastructure problem because there's not enough hydrogen filling stations, and a technology problem like the fuel nozzle getting frozen when filling up the car. I know it's just because it's so cold. It's just, the guy's like filling up his car. Sometimes they get stuck and you're like pulling the nozzle off the car. Oh, that's funny. Sorry. This is hydrogen filling cars. Okay, another strategy is XY Leco Industries. They produce biomass fuel. This company is also able to break down plastics in 11 weeks, produce ethanol fuel that is healthy for the environment, and make sugar that does not rot a human's teeth. The technology is not ready for the market yet. Also, the Navy made seawater into fuel, and it can possibly power the world. This technology is not ready for the market yet. There's also green hydrogen, but it is not ready for the market yet. There are Bill Gates' proposals for safe environment for the future without carbon, like grid-scale electricity storage that can last a full season, electrical fuels, advanced biofuels, zero carbon cement, zero carbon steel, plant and cell-based meat and dairy, zero carbon fertilizer, nuclear fission, nuclear fusion, carbon capture like direct air capture and point capture, underground electricity transmission, zero carbon plastics, geothermal energy, pumped hydro, thermal storage, drought and flood tolerant food crops, zero carbon alternatives to palm oil, and coolants that don't contain F-gases. These technologies are not ready yet and aren't ready for the market either. Another way is capturing solar winds as a means for endless energy. We have the technology to do this now, but it would be very expensive. Another way is putting solar panels in space to capture the sun's energy. We have the technology to do this now, but it would be very expensive. There is a climate tech company in Virginia that has developed a way to recycle clothes by separating cotton and polyester plastics from each other. This is really cool. I mean, this has never been done before. Most clothes just go into a landfill. The cotton polyesters that were separated can be reused again to make the cotton and polyesters that were separated can be reused again to make new trendy clothes. The fashion industry is responsible for about 10% of the annual planet warming greenhouse gas emissions. Now, the 10% greenhouse gas can be erased from Earth with the fashion industry recycling and reusing their clothes. So cool, because the technology has caught up. So cool. The last thing is plastics. There's enough plastic in the world to cover all of Argentina from the 1950s to now. I think this is the best research I've ever heard of for plastics. I haven't seen anything else but this. Just this. It's annoying, but it's just this. It's so cool. I'll start over. The last thing is plastics. There's enough plastic in the world to cover all of Argentina from the 1950s to now. One way to get rid of all the plastic in the world is to convert them into roads. There is a British company that uses their plastics and makes roads out of them. Plastics, there is oil in plastics. Use them for roads. They know how to do it. I mean, come on. They're going to make more plastics in the future. We have microplastics in our systems. Every animal right now has microplastics in them. And we can make them for roads. Roads. I mean, there's so much plastic. I mean, we can actually build roads for free. It's so cool. I don't know. There's a British company that uses plastics to make roads out of them. Plastics are basically oil, and that is what is used for the roads. I mean, why can't we use it here? I know I don't know this technology, but if they're using it, transition here. Come on. I mean, in my state, we spend millions of dollars on roads, and yet we have all this plastic to make it into roads. Anything? Hello? I mean, come on. In the end, the goal is to save the planet in order to become a mixed energy market. Then fusion and only use... In the end, the goal is to save the planet in order to become a mixed energy market. Then to fusion and only use fossil fuels in case of an ice age. This is so cool. This is just so cool. This is the reason why we can use fossil fuels. It has been proven that burning fossil fuels can get rid of ice ages by warming the planet. Yes! Storage fossil fuels. I mean, we've had the last major ice age was 40,000 years ago. Yeah. They come and go. I mean, if an ice age happens now, our economy would be, the world's economy would be pretty much close to ruin. Bring up the fossil fuels. Let's go, baby. We can save ourselves. That is a type 1 civilization right there. My God. We can save ourselves just right there from ice ages. There's a use for fossil fuels right there. God. We can get rid of ice ages by warming the planet. Like, it's just so cool. Type 1 civilization right there. Damn. Simply put, the world has to run on renewables. The good news, today is that solar and wind costs have come down dramatically and are competitive with fossil fuels. They are easier to deploy than ever before. Energy storage. Once the great problem with renewable energy sources is being solved as batteries become more powerful, while other storage solutions are gaining ground. These energy storage solutions are lithium batteries, pumped storage hydroelectric, stored gravitational potential energy, compressed air energy storage, cryogenic air separation and liquefier energy, hydrogen energy storage, thermal batteries, flow batteries, and concentrated solar power. Scientists need to do more research, but they are making fast progress in these areas. I mean, these are all, what I just said is a list of all the different battery combinations of trying to get the best battery. It's just really hard. I mean, to make a great efficient battery, because once you have it, then the market's just going to change to the mixed energy from electricity competing against fossil fuels. Then we can hopefully save the planet. I mean, transition. We are humans. We can do it. In the meantime, humans and governments need to cool the planet while keeping the energy flowing. These cooling planet solutions are pulling carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere with direct capture machines. Yeah, these things, there's a whole facility. It's huge. And they just capture the carbon from the air, and they run on garbage. You see this is all on PBS. They see lines and lines. It's like a conveyor belt of garbage, and they're burning it, and they suck the carbon out of the air. It's really cool. They're expensive, but I mean, compared to the rest of the world, they're still doing their job, and they're running on garbage. Just so cool. These facilities use garbage to generate power. Oops. I'm reiterating myself. Another way is by producing liquid hydrocarbon fuels from sunlight to ambient air. They produce solar methanol. Also, industry could recycle carbon by making yoga mats, watches, toothpaste, cement, and car parts, all made from carbon dioxide. Yeah, I saw this. It was just so amazing. Toothpaste, carbon. The things we can do to recycle. We can recycle pee and our feces into drinking water. That is just insane. In my town, we have a plant that does that, and then you can actually drink it. They usually put it back in the river, but it's safe for you. It makes a lot of jobs, and it's just all recycle. It's just amazing what we can do. The ingenuity of humans is so good. Another way is solar geoengineering. This process intercepts sunlight coming into the planet in order to cool it. Also, there is injecting aerosols into the atmosphere to reflect sunlight. This is not a good one, but this would be like a volcano going off because it releases aerosols into that atmosphere and cools the planet. The aerosols would cool the planet, but it might be too cold. Oops. How to get rid of them? Oh. Oopsie. It's like turning down the dim light, then it goes too dark. Honey, can you rise the dim light? I can't, honey. I just broke the switch. It doesn't work. Oops. I know, it's just so funny. Another way is to plant 1 trillion trees. I've heard this several times, and they don't think there's enough land to plant 1 trillion trees. So it's a good idea, but I don't think it's possible. Lastly, there is Earth's grasslands composting. This food waste is regularly turned to add oxygen to mix, and this keeps the methane producing microbes at bay. That one's really cool. I mean, that was, when I saw that, that was really, really cool. That's from PBS. PBS. With all these great ideas, it is really hard to know which research-based idea is the best to start healing the planet. It isn't. There's just so many ideas because there's just so many. There's, humans. I'm babbling. This taking too long, but to understand humans, it's easy. To understand the planet, there's just so many different areas, and it's just so many different industries, and it's just hard. It's really hard, but we can do it. We're humans. This is why I'm having a hard time understanding the best solution. Maybe all of them together can help get the U.S. and the world to a mixed energy market. If humans do not do anything and the U.S. and the world keep facing energy shocks or energy crises, then the political backlash against renewables could be real, and then no solutions to help the planet will come to fruition. And that's true. That's so true. Ichi sanchi go. Kuju. Konnichiwa. Laloon we be. Hola, buenos dias. Adios. We all win together. De nada.